I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Manaphy. There are a lot of weird things living in our planet's seas. Some of them can be really gross and scary, but others can be oddly beautiful. Bioluminescence in deep marine life is a source of obvious fascination for the director James Cameron, while the bright colours and odd decorations of some sea slugs of course inspired the gastrodon line we recently talked about. In Japan, another kind of sea slug, related to those we talked about before, is very well loved. Sometimes known as sea angels, the Phione are blue creatures with ethereal semi-transparent outer skin and bright red organs, giving the appearance that they are glowing, ghostly presences. This visual has been the inspiration behind final boss monsters like Metroid Prime or Chaos from Sonic Adventure, and in a much cuter form, it inspired some mythical Pokemon. Manaphy is a cute blue Pokemon with 2 long antennae, wing-like fins, and a red gem on its belly. It has the simple species of seafaring Pokemon, but is referred to in various games and the anime as things like the Prince of the Sea or the Guardian of the Seas. Pokemon Platinum tells us, "It is born with a wondrous power that lets it bond with any kind of Pokemon." Oddly, in actual game terms, Manaphy does not have any moves or abilities that make it an especially good double battle monster. In fact, its high attacking stats and hydration ability make it a perfect Pokemon for tearing through stool-based teams all by itself. Manaphy appeared in the movie Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, a film released at the tail end of the Hoenn era to tease the new generation. It's one of a weirdly high number of films in which Ash dies, though in this one he at least gets to come back with some wild Aquaman powers. It's all a bit disappointing though, as the whole film up to that point shows Manaphy bonding with May rather than Mr. Ketchum, but she doesn't get to have any superpowers at the end. Manaphy is closely tied to Pokemon Rangers. As well as the movie, originally the only way to acquire a Manaphy was to connect a copy of Diamond or Pearl to Pokemon Ranger, and that way get a Manaphy egg. Manaphy hatches from an egg, and can produce more eggs by breeding with a Ditto. However, those eggs don't hatch into Manaphy, but instead Phione. Legends Arceus says about Manaphy, "Rumoured to migrate across the oceans and visit Hisui's coastal waters only rarely." Although Manaphy resembles Phione, it is also quite different. The relation between the two is unclear. Phione is visually similar to Manaphy, slightly thinner and with only 1 antenna. Its typing and ability are the same, both Pokemon being pure water types. Phione is a little less powerful in every stat, however. Welcome back to Does Andy Remember Gen 4 Pokemon?
And if so, does he have any thoughts about
Phione.
That is the Manaphy clone, or the original Manaphy. I think it's the clone.
Yeah, we're back to that weird thing with Lucario, where obviously everyone remembers the second one, but the baby was actually introduced at the same time.
Is it a baby?
So Manaphy you get as like a Mew type thing, and you can breed it to get Phiones, but the Phiones won't evolve into a Manaphy.
Yeah. So it's not actually a baby. It's just it's a different Pokemon. It's related. It's a cousin.
Well, if you breed a Manaphy, you get Phiones. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cousin.
Yeah. Well, it's just
niece.
Impure.
Is it impure if you breed 2 Manaphys?
I don't know. Get into weird.
They won't make a Manaphy.
Royalty stuff now. They can't breed, can they?
I don't know.
Yeah, usually.
How are you getting a baby one?
Well, breed of a Ditto. All of Phione's Pokedex entries relate to it living in warm waters. Diamond and Pearl tell us, a Pokemon that lives in warm seas. It inflates the flotation sac on its head to drift and search for food. While Platinum says, it drifts in warm seas. It always returns to where it was born, no matter how far it may have drifted. And Heart Gold and Soul Silver say, when the water warms, they inflate the flotation sac on their heads and drift languidly on the sea in packs. Oddly though, water temperature is only mentioned once in Manaphy's Pokedex, in Pokemon Diamond, which says, "Born on a cold seafloor. It will swim great distances to return to its birthplace." Another Pokedex entry does say this, however, in Pokemon Pearl. "Water makes up 80% of its body. This Pokemon is easily affected by its environment." Perhaps this could explain why breeding a Manaphy or Phione can only ever produce more Phione, with no way to breed or evolve a Manaphy. They are kind of the same species, but in warm waters they produce Phione eggs, whereas in some far-off land, even colder than Sinnoh, a Manaphy egg could be produced. The two main species of Cleone in the real world are found in Hokkaido and the much colder Arctic, so it does make a certain sense. Others have theorized that Phione is some kind of drone cast to Manaphy's prince or princess. And with that prince title, it has even been suggested that Phione represents an illegitimate heir of loyalty. Manaphy is a Pokemon shrouded in mystery. Even the name is unclear. Phione obviously draws from Cleone, but Manaphy? Maybe it's mana, the source of life? Life does come from the oceans after all. Back in the day, a friend traded me a Phione, but I was never able to get a Manaphy. I was a little obsessed for a while there, reading ridiculous online methods to breed one, just like the old Pokegod days back on the Game Boy. Now I have access to Manaphy, and what an adorable little angel it is. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon is composed by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. Writing, producing, and editing is all by me, Luke Summerhaze. Funding is provided by lovely listeners. If you'd like to help keep the lights on or give your thanks, head over to patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. There you can find links to the other shows my pals and I create, or for just $1 a month, listen to episodes as soon as we're done editing. I love hearing from you guys. A 5-star rating and review on your podcasting app of choice, or even better, telling a friend about the show, would always be much appreciated. Our next monsters are Darkrai and Shaman. Let me know your thoughts and feelings about those or any other Pokemon on Twitter or Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN. Catch more Pokemon content at twitch.tv/LukeLovesPKMN, Friday nights from 9 PM UK time. And even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Manaphy, and remember, I love you too.